First of all, I want to say congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers, a class organization, a big-time team, presents a lot of problems. My hat is off to them in a well-played series, a tough series, and whoever has them next has their hands full.
Josh,
Go ahead,
Bloomberg,
Josh.
TSN. Coach, you've talked about the learning curve throughout the series. The Cavs have been here. Your team hadn't. How much does this experience help you guys in your building process?
It's a tremendous learning experience. I was trying to sprinkle that in the entire series, Josh. Every situation was new for us. I love the way we responded after the first 2 games. I thought we realized where we were and what we were into. But again, this team understood the moment. They understood the second quarter tonight. I thought that was the difference right before halftime. They understood when to push the pedal to the metal and when to let up and pick their spots. And that's what you have to do. And because everybody's playing hard. Everybody's trying. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. So, again, that's when the intellect and control comes into play. And that team understands how to do it, and they have one of the best in the world, and LeBron James at the throttle.
Chris
Parker, Cleveland Scene. Coach, you only had 10 assists. You got a pretty good performance out of DeRozan and Lowry. Did you feel that you needed to get more from your other players?
Well, we do. That's, again, those guys understanding. They had a guy, James had, 33, Kevin Love had 20, and Irvin had 30. So we got to have that third person to step up. And, again, I thought we had some good looks, and we tried to get guys in the right situation. Again, it's a learning experience for our guys. It's the first time they've been here. That group had been there before. They were there last year. And again, they'll have the opportunity again this year. So we're learning. We're not where they are right now. We're going to be. This summer is a big summer of working for our players in specific areas. That's going to help. But this experience, and I've said it all year, this year was a great learning experience for all of us.
John.
Coach John Schumann, NBA.com. In all your years of coaching in the postseason, have you ever had a tougher offense to game plan against? And did you feel helpless at times?
Well, again, I don't know if it's the offense. It wasn't the sets. It was the individuals. Because a lot of their stuff, one-on-one, they're impossible to guard. Then you double team, and then you open up yourself. They have such great three-point shooters around, and a great willing passer in LeBron. So they present a lot of problems. Just a lot of it is their personnel and the placement of their personnel. Channing Frye adds another question to the mix because now instead of inside in the post, he's stretched out in transition. And we have our big guys, and Jonas tried and Bismack tried, but they're so used to going down and taking that first rim runner. And now you look out and there's Channing Frye at the three-point line. That's a problem. And, again, for us, it's a learning experience for us. We'll learn from it, and we'll be better from it.
Dwane, Mike Mazzio, ESPN.com right here. Mm-hmm. How do you kind of put into perspective the last 20 games, going through all the injuries you had, Kyle and DeMar's ups and downs shooting the ball? I mean, how are you kind of able to get to this point? I'm
so proud of our guys to go through what they've been through, 2 Game 7 series and a Game 6 series in a day off in between. They fought through it. No excuses, but I did think mental fatigue set in a little bit, which is not an excuse at this time of year. But, we put ourselves in the position of 2 hard-fought 7-game series, which I know we learned from. And when we talk to guys next year about what it's like, about a situation, they can refer back to how hard it was in the Indiana series, in the Miami series, in this series, about the situations they put themselves in and the type of focus and attention to detail you got to have in certain situations. And again, it's not about playing hard. It's about, attention to detail and make sure you understand exactly what your job is in that instance.
Bruce in the front here. Just waiting for the microphone.
Dwane, how much of this series was the difference between having LeBron James and not having LeBron James?
That's a loaded question, Bruce. That's a very unfair question just because there's only one LeBron James, and he makes a difference on any team he plays on, and he's proven that. What is this, his 6th finals? So that's not to compare him to our team. I love our players. I wouldn't trade any of our players, but you put him on any team in this league, and he's going to be a difference maker. You know, everybody on that organization is their level has gone up because he's on their team.
Joseph?
Dwane, in your 5 years here, you've talked a lot about the process of getting to a championship level and how you might not still be there. Did you get further than you even thought that you might, or are you closer than you thought you were?
That's a good point. I really think we're a step ahead in the process. We the players worked and put themselves in this process. We're still a relatively young team to talk about competing for a championship, but they put themselves in that position by hard work and fighting through things this season. We still have a ways to go. And I've said this the whole time. Guys that have been here have heard me say it. That next step is probably the biggest step we have to take as an organization, and as individuals, myself included, the coaching staff, each player. We just talked in there a while ago about what each guy has to do, what they have to bring back to the table for us to take that next step, and it's not going to be easy. So now the target's on your back. It's going to be even more so when people talk about the Toronto Raptors. We're one of 4 teams left. We should be proud of that, but not satisfied.
Go ahead.
Joyce Tencent China. Coach, it seems like at the end of the game, Kyle was trying to hold back his tears. So any tears in the locker room, whether it's proud or frustration, sadness, anything?
I don't know about tears. There's emotions, but again, you want that because it means they care. Right.
Ahead, Ryan.
I know the season just ended, but do you have a sense of what the team needs? 1 or 2 things that might.
No, I'm not. You know, it's too soon, Ryan, to talk about that. All we talked about were what guys needed to do to get better, to come back next year. And again, it's a business, and you know, there's a lot of decisions the organization has to make. And I have total trust in Masai that he's going to make the right decisions and put the right guys in place. Some guys have decisions to make themselves, and which they put themselves in that position and earn that right to do that. So, but again, I know Masai and Jeff in the front office, Bobby, will do a great job of making the right decisions and to help us make that next step.
Stephen?
Coach, Steve Brotherton, Pro B-Ball. You had 2 rookies that got a chance to play through a 20-game stretch of playoffs. We saw a lot of Norman Powell and even saw a bit of DeLon Wright here through the conference finals. What's it meant for them to get this opportunity?
Huge, Stephen. The thing about it, I really thought Norman, and I told him at the end, you know, everybody in that room had their day in the sun throughout the playoffs at some point. Now we didn't sustain it. Some guys didn't sustain it. Some guys did, the young guys. But the future is bright for those young guys, and I'd still say the 905 had a lot to do with those guys getting the reps, getting minutes, staying in condition, in game condition, because if you just come up here and have to go through the practice, especially toward the end of the season when there wasn't a lot of practice time, it wouldn't have been a lot. So I'm proud of the young guys. They still have work to do. There are areas where they can get better, and you know, so that's something that that our organization can look forward to and be proud of.